After a proverbial cup of coffee in 1973, Brett won Kansas City's starting third base job. After initially struggling at the plate, Brett and hitting coach Charlie Lau tinkered with his swing to fix some holes which were exploited by American League hurlers. He surged at the plate during the second half and finished with a 282 average, resulting in a third place finish in the American League Rookie of the Year voting. The following November, trade rumors swirled having Kansas City trade Brett to the Reds for future Hall of Famer Tony Perez, who was coming off his fifth All-Star appearance. The Royals, already with All-Star first baseman John Mayberry, declined. The 1975 season was an introduction to the baseball world of the greatness of George Brett. Hitting 308, the 23-year-old Brett led the American League with 195 hits and 13 triples to go along with a 125 OPS plus. In recognition of his efforts, Brett garnered enough votes to have an 11th place finish in the American League MVP vote. Brett's star continued to rise in 1976. From May 8th to 13th, he collected 3 hits in 6 consecutive games to tie a Major League record. He would go on to lead the Kansas City Charge to the franchise's first postseason appearance. In the American League Championship Series against the Yankees that went the full 5 games, Brett hit .444 with 3 extra base hits, 5 RBIs, and an OPS of 1254. Named to his first All-Star team, Brett led the league in a number of statistics, including a .333 average, 215 hits, 14 triples, and 298 total bases. This, along with a 144 OPS plus, resulted in a second-place finish in the American League MVP. 1977 further cemented Brett's reputation as an elite player. Named to the All-Star game, Brett finished the season hitting .312 with 22 home runs and a 142 OPS plus. Voters again took notice, earning him a 13th place finish in the MVP vote. In the postseason, again against the Yankees, he hit .300 with 2 triples. However, again despite his efforts, Kansas City lost to New York in 5. In 1978, Brett's numbers somewhat took a step back offensively, at least by his standards. Despite a reduction in most of his numbers, he still led the American League with 45 doubles. Still retaining his status as an elite third baseman, Brett was again named to the American League All-Star team and was selected by enough voters to finish within the top 20 in the MVP vote. And was becoming a trend, Kansas City met the Yankees in the ALCS. Although the Royals lost in 4, it was through no fault of Brett's as he hit .389 with 5 extra base hits, including 3 home runs and an OPS of 1444. Brett returned to form in 1979. He continued what would become a long trend of all-star appearances, while batting .329, bashing 22 homers, and eclipsing the 100 RBI threshold for the first time. He also led the league with 212 hits and 20 triples. All this resulted in a 148 OPS plus. Despite his Royals missing the postseason by just 3 games to the Angels, this phenomenal season netted Brett a third-place finish in the American League vote. When the 1980 season opened, George Brett had already established himself as the best player ever to wear a Kansas City Royal uniform, and was arguably the best third baseman in the American League, if not all of baseball. However, 1980 is the year that his stars shined brightest. Brett chased .400 for the entire season to equal the feat not accomplished since Ted Williams in 1947. Injuries and the law of averages caught up to him in the end, preventing him from realizing this goal. However, over 117 games, he finished with a .390 average, a .454 in base percentage, a .664 slugging percentage, an 1118 OPS, and an outstanding 203 OPS plus, all of which led the American League. For good measure, he hit 24 homers and drove in 118, leading the Royals back to the postseason. Against Kansas City's postseason nemesis, the Yankees, although Brett's average was an uncharacteristic .273, he did hit 2 homers and had an OPS of 1242, and the Royals got over this Yankee hump, making their first ever World Series appearance. Although Kansas City fell to the Phillies in 6 games, it's not due to a poor Brett performance. He hit .375 and had an OPS of 1090. For this Herculean effort, this perennial All-Star was crowned the American League MVP and earned his first Silver Slugger. 1981 was an odd year for baseball. A player's strike canceled games, leaving fans and players wondering what could have been. Coming off the 1980 campaign he had, one had to expect Brett's numbers to come back to those of a mere mortal. Although he did not lead the league in any offensive categories, Brett took his now usual spot on the All-Star team and finished with a .314 average and a 145 OPS plus. In the never-seen-before American League Division Series against Oakland, Brett managed just 2 singles as Kansas City was swept. Brett continued his superstar ways in 1982. The All-Star third baseman slugged 21 homers, hit .301, and had an OPS plus of 141. He continued his streak of receiving American League MVP votes for an 8th year. During the National League playoffs in St. Louis, Brett was seen wearing a Cardinals hat in the front row. This led to speculations of an impending off-season trade. It was widely known that former Royals manager and then Cardinals manager Whitey Herzog coveted Brett to play third base in St. Louis. It was also well known that Brett missed his former manager. Although denied by Kansas City's front office, it was rumored that they were shopping Brett and that St. Louis offered first baseman Keith Hernandez, third baseman Ken Oberkfell, and outfielder George Hendrick. Thankfully for Royals fans and all baseball fans alike, this trade never happened. In 1983, the 30-year-old Brett showed no signs of slowing down. Named his 8th consecutive All-Star game, Brett again led the American League in a number of offensive categories. His league-leading .563 slugging percentage, combined with a .385 on-base percentage, led to an American League best .947 OPS, and consequently a league-leading OPS plus of 158. Strangely enough, however, he failed to receive any MVP votes following the 1983 season, his first season without any since his rookie year in 1974. Maybe it was the freak injury in which Brett was doing laundry, heard that Bill Buckner was coming to bat on a televised game, and as Brett rushed to the TV, he kicked a door jamb and broke a toe. Or maybe it was because voters had Brett's infamous tirade during the legendary Pine Tar game still on their minds. 1984 saw Brett's worst statistical year since his rookie year. Playing just 104 games due to a knee injury, his counting numbers suffered. Additionally, his average slipped below 300 for the first time since 1974. Despite a drop in both on-base percentage and slugging percentage, his OPS plus was still well above average at 121. This carried over to the postseason. Against the juggernaut Detroit Tigers, Brett managed just 3 singles, as the Royals were swept in 3. Brett, now healthy, surged again offensively in 1985. Again, he led the American League with a .585 slugging percentage, a .1002 OPS, and an astounding 179 OPS plus. Opposing teams took notice of Brett's acumen, issuing him a league-leading 31 intentional walks. Named to his 10th consecutive All-Star team, Brett carried Kansas City's offense to the postseason yet again. Against Toronto in the LCS, Brett was in his top form, batting .324, bashing 3 homers, and driving in 5. He was named the series MVP as Kansas City came back from a 3-1 deficit to beat the Jays in 7 games. Against the cross-state Cardinals in the World Series, Brett hit .370 as the Royals won the team's first ever World Series title in 7 games. His season efforts produced a second-place finish in the MVP vote, his second Silver Slugger award, and his only Gold Glove. George Brett predictably took a few steps backward in 1986. His average dipped to .290. His slugging percentage dropped 100 points, but his on-base percentage, while dropping 40 points, still remained above .400. Despite this, his OPS plus was still amongst the leaders at 138. For Brett, 1987 was a virtually identical year as 1986. He hit .290 again, with an OPS of .884 compared to 1986's .881. His OPS plus, 131, very close to 1986's 138. In an effort to squeeze touted rookie Kevin Seitzer in at third, the Royals moved the aging Brett to first base to keep his bat in the lineup. Despite this shift in position, Brett again was selected to the Midsummer Classic. 1988 saw yet another quintessential George Brett season. The 35-year-old's OPS was good enough in relation to the rest of baseball that it resulted in an OPS plus of 149. His back of the baseball card stats were impressive too. He had 309, slugged 24 homers, and drove in 103. He was named to his 13th consecutive All-Star game, but he would never go to the Midsummer Classic ever again. He again garnered MVP votes, this time good enough for 13th place. The cherry on the sundae of Brett's year was his third career Silver Slugger. 1989 was another valley year in Brett's career, well, at least relative to his career work. In 124 games, he batted .282, bashed 12 homers, and drove in 80. However, he still got on base, which helped drive his OPS to .793, good enough for a 123 OPS plus. However, at just over 2,500 hits, many wondered if there was enough gas in the tank to reach the prestigious 3,000 hit club. 1990 proved to be yet another peak year in the incredible career of George Brett. The 37-year-old led the American League with a .329 average. His third career batting title marked the only time any player has led his league in batting in 3 different decades. His hitting was not reduced to singles either. His 45 doubles led the American League and contributed to the Brett-esque OPS of .902, good enough for an OPS plus of 153. Voters rewarded Brett for his Renaissance year by earning him enough votes for 7th place. Brett entered 1991 needing just 293 hits for entrance into the elite 3,000 hit club. However, Father Time was knocking at the door. Now primarily a DH, Brett managed just 129 hits, resulting in a career worst .252 average. His OPS was just .729, still league average, but his lowest since his rookie year. In 1992, 39-year-old George Brett had certainly earned the status of an elder statesman of baseball. However, given his previous year, the 164 hits needed to eclipse 3,000 seemed to be not in the cards. Healthy and producing league average stats for most of the year, his time came on September 30th. Just 4 hits shy of 3,000 and rumored not to play as the Royals visited Anaheim to face the Angels due to an aching shoulder, Brett was inserted into the lineup. Growing up in nearby El Segundo, Brett seemed to have everyone in the stadium cheering for him. Over the course of 6 innings, Brett lined a double and followed with 2 singles. In the 7th, he hit a hard grounder off Tim Vertugo towards second baseman Ken Oberkfell. However, instead of producing a run-of-the-mill 4-3 groundout, it took a bad hop and almost nailed him in the head, zipping into right field, resulting in number 3,000. After several minutes of celebrating, the game resumed. He supposedly was gabbing to first baseman Gary Gaetti too much and wasn't paying attention and was promptly picked off by Vertugo. A month later, his season stats were highlighted by a league average .285 batting average and a .727 OPS. The newly minted member of the 3,000 hit club wasn't ready to hang it up as 1993 approached. The 40-year-old, now exclusively a DH, played in 145 games and hit a serviceable .266 with a surprising 19 homers and 75 RBIs. Wanting to end on a high note, Brett retired at the season's conclusion. George Brett is certainly the most widely known Kansas City Royal ever. His induction into Cooperstown on the first ballot validated his career accomplishments.